good afternoon. So I figured I would pop in to go over our tarot teaching moment, which I should have done last night, but I got distracted when I snagged a really good deal on some angels. So it was very random. You know how Facebook shows all these ads and all this. And it was on Facebook Marketplace. It had referenced these angels in bulk, like 3 boxes for $25. And as I swiped across, I'm thinking, these are beautiful. And I'm sure that the person who owned them paid quite a bit toward this collection. So of course I had to act on that. And of course I couldn't leave them in their box or boxes without like looking at each and every one of them to assess for what was going on with them and the dates and this and that. And it was just really cool. Like I posted in our group, I believe that I have inherited the collection that used to belong to a nurse. And a random fact about me, if you guys don't already know it, is I am a nurse. So I think it's something that what I'm really believing is one nurse's collection going to another nurse. And I don't know, like I know during my go lives that I have referenced the divine and there's forces beyond our understanding. I kind of take this as a symbol of comfort, to have all this little flood of angels now, especially with the nurse theme with it. So I take it as a good sign. So, and it brings me much peace and joy just looking at all of them together. I love them on my white shelf. And Tim took it upon himself to briefly consult me prior to ordering some LED lights. So there'll be a strip of LED lights going above each of the shelves to help illuminate them. Because they come in so many various colors, I think that alone makes them pop out. So, yeah, it's really cool how stuff happens, you know. But of course, you know, I love you guys. So, and these are important to me because I think it's great to review each card in tarot and really look at the symbols and what it means and growing in, say, our knowledge base of the cards. And they're so complex, it takes time to really thoroughly go over each and every one. And then, you know, by the time that we're all done with all 78 cards, you do realize that this is a lifelong endeavor of researching them, gathering various viewpoints, learning about the symbols in the cards. And I think that's why I love them so much, is there's just so much as far as the complexity and the symbols. And I love that it's such a great tool to utilize for reflection and insight. And I've already come across so many people reading in person that I'm really blessed to be able to have my small business and be able to read for others. I find it very rewarding. And I have a lot of readings that end with hugs. If the person's a hugger, usually when they're getting the reading, there's something they've been going through, and we've been chatting back and forth about what it is and maybe what the best steps would be to move forward. I do ask the person, hey, are you a hugger? And if so, I give them a good hug. If not, I give them a high five if they want a high five. So that's what's going on with me. And then this morning, we actually went out for breakfast. So I ate at Wicked Chicken, which is in House Springs. So if you've never been there, I would recommend it. It was really good. They've got all sorts of very good food. Even their lunch menu, they serve all day. So say if you have somebody like my daughter who prefers like lunch foods or even dinner over breakfast, that accommodates people who don't really care for breakfast. So I'm going to delve into a new suit. Are you guys excited? I know I'm a little excited. We've made a lot of progression. So this is the Ace of Wands. And just kind of, again, reflect on what you're seeing and the predominant colors in the card and what's in the background and how the card makes you feel when you look at it. So basically, the Ace of Wands. So the ace is the same as the number 1. We are at the very beginning of the Wands suit. And the Wands are all about creativity, passion, drive, motivation. it's the things that make you excited in life. That's what this is. And it is based in the element of fire. So when we're thinking of all these various emotions and all this good stuff, again, we're not thinking about, like, say, the emotional state of the cups. I don't want to confuse you guys. This is more about someone has an idea, okay? And it's not just an idea. They've got a really good idea of how to execute it. So this card, when they get it, whether it be for ourselves or other people, it's a sign that we should definitely get off our butts, put one foot in front of the other, and do the thing. Quit putting it off, possibly overthinking it, because it shows that we have the support of the divine. So whatever your faith is based in, we are inspired. We have these very strong, positive feelings about the relationship or the project, and it's showing you should do it. And in the background, we have, which on some other cards, it's better illustrated than this one. This is actually supposed to be a castle, and it's far away. And so we have hills and we have mountains. So it's not to say that we will not come across obstacles, because just like any suit, and with fives, we have conflict. Okay, because we're going from the ace, which is 1 to 10. So we already know that this is not going to be a perfectly smooth journey, but in life, what is? So with our relationships, we're talking about, say if you meet somebody and your personalities really click well, you got a lot in common. This could be, say, networking. It could be a new, like career, like a new job, possibly, to where you could say, like, wow, I'd love to work here. It could be a person that you meet and you're like, they're awesome. I totally want to be friends with them. Or a romantic relationship where, again, that commonality is there. It could even be somebody that they've been thinking on for a while. They were friends starting out, got to know each other maybe, and now it's kind of advanced and grown. So for all these things, it's a really very fiery, passionate endeavor. So with this card, and I thought of this as I was making the advertisement about this tarot teaching moment, and there's no way really to avoid the pink elephant in the room, so I'm just going to go ahead and address it. So this wand, if you look at it very closely, and if you think the way that I think, just know that, I mean, you might be a bit on the whatever side as far as looking at things. I don't know the word to describe it, but this very much looks like a penis. So if you look here, the top of this one looks like the head of a penis, and then that would be the shaft. That actually was intentional, and it's not because our minds are messed up or we're perverted or anything crazy like that. That was intentional, because they see, like, the male, say, theoretically impregnating a female. So it's a sign of virility, and it's showing the growth that comes from that. And there's more insight into those leaves here in a bit, because I will be referencing my book by Rachel Pollack, where she goes into the shape of the leaves. And believe it or not, those leaves have a meaning beyond just the potential for growth, and that it is a growing thing, right? But anytime we have the clouds coming from the sky, we're talking about like an opportunity. So this is like the random things in life that happens to us, kind of like my angels. So I had referenced how I wasn't looking for them, on Facebook Marketplace was presented this picture, this offering for 3 boxes of angels for $25. And I was so inspired and excited by that concept of having those little whatnots that I wrote the lady. She promptly wrote me back, yes, they're available. We worked out the details. My hubby went and got them. And then that very evening, because I'm so excited, I was very much this Ace of Wands energy. I was very much already inspired about getting the angels out onto the shelves after wiping them off and all that good stuff and cleaning them, and then marveling and just being inspired by their overall energy. So that's what it is. Again, it's these opportunities that present themselves in our life or that we even make for ourselves, you know. And again, it's illuminated. So the ground around us here, it's in shades of yellow, and we also have that green. So the artist used both colors. And we also have the water. And so whenever we have water in tarot, that is always about our intuition and emotions. So that's showing that we should go with it. Because again, even though we're now in the wands, we're not in the cup suit anymore. It's still our emotional state, but we're more so now toward the fiery passion, okay, which is water's opposite, like as far as the elements go. So it's all about that drive and passion with this card. And I think that's the gist from like thinking about it from an upright viewpoint. Now let's say if, which we will get to these cards, I'm not going to teach on them today. Let's say if you do a spread for yourself or someone else and you get this card and it's upright and you get, say, a 3 of Wands, or if you get 8 of Wands, that could also show that there's potential there for travel, which is exciting. So again, this is a very adventurous card. Now let's say, because I always briefly touch on reversals, what if it was reversed? So it's basically the opposite meaning of the card. So that means that the energy is just not there. There's no motivation. Someone's in a slump. It could reflect that point in time for ourselves or that person, it is not a good time to move forward with that relationship, job, or project. Because we've got the reverse energy going on. We need to do a little bit more of our research and our thinking processes, really thinking on this matter before we move forward on them. Same thing with finances. If this is upright, then someone does have a very good plan in place. They're excited because it's something that could be beneficial to them. It could even mean they might be coming across some money. So let's say if they're not in a bad off way, let's say their finances are in order, but they get this, but they're thinking about their financial state. It could be like a new opportunity regarding their financial state that could support that. Again, and I think sometimes career and finances can overlap. Now, if it's in reverse, the person should totally rethink their plans. Because again, if it's like upright, it's kind of like a thumbs up. It's good to go. You're ready to go on that relationship, new career, promotion, this new financial type thing that's landed in your lap. Let's say if it's in reverse, you got the opposite energy. It's just not there. Now, things get trickier too. So it's common in readings. People are wondering about their significant others. And see if this card comes up, which is the 3 of Swords, and we'll get into that during another go live. That could because this is a card of sorrow. So if they're wondering if there's something going on with their significant other, if they have that 3 of Swords, then there's some deception, sadness. There's something off with that relationship. The energy is off. So I thought that was important to touch on. So I'm going to look at my notes here. So I had touched upon how now we're delving into a suit, which is all about fire. And I see someone's on here, but I don't know who. So hello and welcome. So for our meaning, so again, this is new projects and creative endeavors. Again, it's very much a sign. Oh, I still have it in reverse. Sorry. Oh my gosh. So if it's upright, that means, again, new projects, creative endeavors. It means to totally go for it. Again, this is like one big thumbs up for these things. These are the things that we're inspired about. The person has already done their legwork as far as thinking about it and formulating a plan. And the universe is saying, yes, they should totally go for it. I had mentioned how, yes, the wand does look like a penis, and a word that references that is phallic. Phallic, and it's supposed to represent, say, a male impregnating a female, anatomy-wise. It's a reference to male virility, and it can also mean starting a family. So I didn't mention that, but that's important to note. I had mentioned how this card can stand for travel if it's pulled, say, with a spread. If you got a 3 or an 8 of wands, it can represent that. Great energy, happiness, and optimism. Courageous, beginning something exciting. Again, that enthusiasm is very much there. Now, somebody else's interpretation of that castle would be opportunities available in the future. For me, when I see that castle, again, I'm seeing hills and mountains. We've got quite the long journey ahead of us. That would be like our goal. That would be like the ultimate, like, end of this particular journey, what we're hoping to accomplish. And that kind of, I think, briefly touches upon goal setting. And if it is quantitative and concise, then you would measure it, or qualitative. But you're going to like assess it throughout your journey to see if you're staying on par on the path to get to this place, wherever it is or whoever it is you're wanting to be with, or if it's not. Because again, tarot is not a linear journey, so it's okay to go forward and backward a bit. You know, it is very rarely somebody's going from ace, which is 1, all the way to 10 without going back and forth a bit. And then with our reversals here, let's see here. And oh, one other thing is the leaves of the wand. So somebody else said it stands for spiritual and material balance and progress. And from Rachel Pollack's book, which I'll go over here soon, it was talking about how this is actually linked in the Christian faith to Jesus Christ. I just want to read it in her words so I don't do a disservice to it. So what I'll do is when I find that page in the book and I read it, I'll hold the card back up for that. Now, say if it's in reversed, we have creative blocks, lacking the passion or energy. That's an abandoned or postponed project, a false start. Somebody needs to rethink their plan. I really did laugh out loud when I read this. Waiting for a man, because again, we referenced that this does look like a penis. It can stand for difficulty conceiving, especially also if someone gets it with the 3 of Swords, which is the sorrow card that I just showed you guys. So if they get this 3 of Swords, there's some sorrow involved. So if the concern is regarding a relationship and they get this, yeah, it's not a good thing. Hesitation, setbacks, doubt. It's not the right time to begin something new. And then I had, let's see here, some other things for the reversed. Let's see if I wrote anything differently here. So for love, it's excitement that quickly fizzles out. So this could be something where it was like, you know, like a one-night stand, or you think they're cool and you go out with them and then the energy's way off and you don't even enjoy being with them. And so it fizzled out real quick. With careers, it's lack of progress, lacking the inspiration. It's just not a good environment to be in. And then with finances, if this is in reverse, we're looking at risky financial decisions. And then with it being upright, again, excitement, passion, flirtation, and romance with love. With career, we're inspired at work. With creative projects, there's a passion for work. And with finances, there's inspiration in making money. So again, there's some divine influence. So sometimes things just happen to us in life and it just totally lands in our lap, you know. So now I'm going to find my page to reference what these leaves mean. So let me show you the book I'm reading from. And if I did get this from Pathways in St. Louis, and I know a lot of my people in the group know Pathways and go there, but I'm sure you could find it at your local metaphysical store or even on Amazon, because Amazon has everything. But this is Rachel Pollack's Tarot Wisdom. Okay. This is Spiritual Teachings and Deeper Meanings. This book, The 78 Degrees of Tarot, is like known as the Bible of Tarot. So she is highly advanced, and I could see how this might be a little intimidating to somebody who's new to tarot. So use it as a reference, but don't get lost in all the concepts, because she goes into advanced like ways of looking at the cards, positioning them, and all this stuff. It's a really thick book. It's a nice book. And when I saw it, especially now that I'm teaching it, I'm like, yeah, I need to get this. It's like 465 pages. And plus, like I mentioned at the beginning of today's Go Live, we're always going to be learning with tarot. You are never going to get to a point in your journey with tarot and be like, oh, I totally know everything about everything that's going on with the cards and this and that. The beautiful thing is, again, that complexity. And then it's very important to be intuitive and perceptive. And it's about the conclusions you draw from the imagery and taking in this big spread and what's predominantly going on to kind of have that flow in conversation. Our lives are not cookbook, so you can't just have the book open. I mean, sure, when we're reading, if we're stumped on something, we could look at it because it might kind of trigger a meaning. But ideally, you want to use the book as like a second thing to look at. The main important thing is what you are getting from the card when you look at the cards, So with this, so the leaves falling from the wand, okay, and this is again the Rider-Waite-Smith, which I know you guys are probably aware of that. They are in the shape of yods, Y-O-D-S, the first letter of the sacred name, Yod Ha-Vav, and also the first letter in Yeshua, the Hebrew word for Jesus. The Ace of Wands is the gift of life itself. So I thought that was really cool. So basically, for the Hebrew word for Jesus, that's what they're saying, that these leaves are in the shape of a letter from the Hebrew alphabet, which is for Jesus. So again, no matter what your faith is, because I try to be very respectful. I know I've got all sorts of different faiths, and my prerogative on that. If it doesn't hurt you or other people, religion's beautiful, and I think that we're all trying to reflect on the same being, if that makes sense. So all these various religions are like a diamond, so it shows the different facets into the way that we try to perceive this being that's so much bigger and grander than us, if that makes sense. And I think it's beautiful in whatever shape or form it takes. But when I saw that, I thought that was really neat because, again, tarot has its roots in Christianity. So when I saw that, I'm like, I wanted to read it just the way Rachel did. And then with wands, I'm just going to read about the suit itself here because I thought she worded it well. So wands are active, strong-minded, courageous, optimistic, energetic, and adventurous. They can show great confidence, but also people's tendency to take on too much or have unrealistic expectations of themselves as well as others. The main problem of wands may be a tendency to burn out or recognize only the aggressive way of dealing with problems. The presence of cups may soften their influence and bring in emotional qualities. Swords allows the wand energy to think things through more carefully, while pentacles can make them more practical. Seen another way, however, water, which is cups, may drown the fire. Air, which is our suit of swords, may fan the aggressive flames with conflict. And earth, slash dirt, also known as pentacles, can smother the optimistic fire. So I really like how Rachel looked at the other suits, and again, highly intelligent lady. Even some of her really advanced stuff in the book, I'm still kind of picking up on, but I think she's highly intelligent, smart. So I love her work. Anything she writes, I would recommend it. So now we are going to look at the other cards here. So with this Ace of Wands, we have a lady, which again, sex doesn't matter. We're talking about the energy of the card. And so she has the Phoenix. So you know about the story of the Phoenix and how it rose from the ashes and was this big, beautiful bird made of flame, which I think flame is so appropriate because we're dealing with the suit of wands. And so with her right hand, she's literally holding a wand. And then her left is all about that energy that she's channeling, which is running from her left hand to her right. So she's going to take that creative, exciting flame and then use her right hand to take the action and make it happen. And her hair's all flowing, and she's very much focused on executing it. She's looking at that wand. And so I really love what the artist did here with that. It's just such a beautiful image. With this one, we have our little crow friend, and he is positioned on top of one wand. And our path is yellow, so it is illuminated. He can see where he's going. There may have been some doubts there because we do have some receding cloud cover, quite a bit there. But predominantly we have the path, and then in the background we have a city landscape, and we've got shades of white and blue. And right there in the corner, it looks like we've got some little yellow daffodils. So it shows that there's potential, there's growth, that this is the beginning of a journey, and it's very exciting. And then I always leave it with one that is not Rider-Waite-Smith, as I always customarily do. So with this one, I love the art. Look at that eyeball and like how her pupil looks like it's reflecting the light. And she's got this little bird. It's like she may have fallen asleep outside, or she was just laying down. And this little bird landed on her, maybe thinking her hair would be good for its nest. Who knows what it was thinking. And it brings with it this idea, kind of like that old saying, well, I heard it from a little bird. So this could be her inside thinking processes. She could be feeling quite inspired because the little bird brings flowers. And I'm sure it's saying something pretty cool. And it's carrying like a little, I don't know, like a little stick, which could be seen like a little wand. And it's presenting it to her. So this is a sign that, hey, to pick up that little wand and make something out of it, make it be a productive thing in whatever shape or form that takes. Even though at the same time, it looks like she's like, what? Like, totally what's going on? So, there is some meaning that you can get after you're familiar with what the foundational meaning stands for. You could kind of nitpick if you really take in the imagery and what's going on with the picture. You can see, we have the wand in common because that little guy is holding his little version of it, that little stick, but otherwise we don't have anything else in common. So that's why I tell people, if you're learning, research your deck and make sure it's based in Rider-Waite-Smith, because if you're learning with this, you're going to be so confused if it's one that's not based in it. Or like I always say, get you a book or a deck that's Rider-Waite-Smith. If you absolutely are in love with a deck not based in it, put the two side by side, intuitively look at them, and then look at the book, because you want to build on your intuition. And we have this. Again, look for our symbols and our colors that we have in common. So we've got our backdrop, even though it's not a castle, it's a city landscape. We've got one singular wand. We have the yellow, the predominant yellow that's in play. And yes, there's a cloud in each of them. We've got a little bit of cloud cover, you know. So we have that. And then we have this one. So we have the one singular wand here. This is a black and white photo, so we don't have the colors to draw any interpretations from. And that is it, really. Would just be the wand in common. So yeah, so pretty cool. So I think that will sum us up for our tarot teaching moment today. And I appreciate you guys as far as, like, I know you're cool with whatever. So when I have stuff that comes up in my life, I totally, as a courtesy, let you guys know what's going on. I'm really enjoying learning about this with you guys because it keeps building on my knowledge base of it too, which is fun. So tomorrow, you know, I do not do tarot teaching moments because I do the group reading. So I'll do our tarot and oracle read for next week for our group. I'll hop on and do that at 8 p.m. And then we will resume our tarot teaching moments on Monday. And I think that sums it up pretty much. And I am going to be back at the Grand Slam next week on Thursday too, between 5 and 10. So just throwing that out there. It'd be cool to see you guys. And of course, like, I love doing readings, so you could get a reading from me. And I think that sums it up. And I love you guys, and I hope you have a great weekend, and you have a part of my heart. I appreciate you, just you being in my group. I'm grateful for you, and if you need me, if you need to reach me, just shoot me a message on here. You can write me at mountaincrowtarot@gmail.com. You can hit up my website at www.mountaincrowtarot.com to check out my candles, book a reading. If you have a question, you can shoot it to me. And yeah, if you need anything, let me know. Well, have a good weekend and stay safe and warm. Bye.